Hi guys, MS Malik 681 back again with another update to my Roblox wrapper. Got a bit of a bad throat today, so I'm sorry about that. So big update with this wrapper. I'm just going to go over it now. So there will be a link to my GitHub releases page in the description to the video. But if I just go there now, I can show you my update. Releases version 4.0 is the latest release here. So I've got everything summarized right here on the releases. So when you go to my releases page, whichever has the green latest, this is the latest release. As of the time I'm filming this video is 4.0. There might be updates if I find new optimizations or anything I can add or need to remove. So always download the latest one at the time you go to my releases page. 4.0 at the moment, like I said, is the latest one. I removed DXVK from the setup. I mean, you can still use it if you think you need it, but I mean, DXVK translates DirectX API calls into Vulkan. The reason I removed that is because now I have the option to actually set the API to Vulkan. So if you're running direct Vulkan, you don't really need to go through DirectX. So obviously the DirectX options are still there. So you've got DirectX 9 and DirectX 11. But I don't recommend using these. It's better to go with OpenGL or Vulkan, and they will give a huge performance boost in your FPS. So much so that I've added the FPS Unlocker. So on my system with a i7 CPU and a NVIDIA GTX 1060, I can get about 250 FPS. I don't think I've seen it more than that. Also, I've noticed that anyone running on their base system really up-to-date versions of Wine, like Wine 6.19, can actually break the setup because I don't know exactly when this transition happened, but older versions of Wine installed applications to the program files directory, whereas newer versions of Wine installed to the app data directory. So to keep consistency, I'm using the actual whichever version of Wine I've compiled, which is 6.16. So the version of Wine that comes with my wrapper, or you download with my wrapper, is the version that will actually make the Roblox installation. So the installation directory won't change. Also, something I want to add for quite some time. So people running older distros or people who've downloaded lightweight distros might have an older version of glibc, like Ubuntu 18.04. Another one I know of, I think, is Zorin OS, the light version. Someone recently had an issue with that, running an older glibc. So now glibc 2.27 is kind of supported. The reason I say kind of supported is thanks to I believe it's cron 4ek. So cron 4ek. This guy here, his GitHub page, he's got Wine builds. He had a script that actually builds Wine for these older systems. I tried to build it and I couldn't do it. Satisfying the dependencies was too much, but this guy's a legend and he managed to get it done. Told the truth, I couldn't use his script to actually build Wine. I was meant to run it on Arch, but I've never set up Arch, and I have no Arch distros besides maybe Manjaro. But Manjaro does not use glibc 2.27. It uses, I think, 2.33. So I couldn't find an Arch distro that used that older version of glibc. Wow, my voice is going. Anyway, thanks to this guy, big thanks to him, because he actually made the version of Wine I'm using for 2.27. So anyone running 2.27, it was this guy who actually built that version of Wine. Another shout out to E66666 GitHub. So this guy actually made a very good tutorial on how to build Roblox or build Wine for Roblox with all the patches required. I'll have a link to both of these GitHub pages, but the reason I'm mentioning this one is as this guy's asked, well, I'm sure I read it somewhere, but yeah, it's not recommended really to use a pre-built version of Wine because there's potential, how do we say, security threats, vulnerabilities. So with my script, it uses pre-built versions of Wine. So I will show you how to make your own. Well, I won't show you how to build Wine, but I mean this guide will help you. And if you want to build your own version of Wine, if you're concerned about any security threats, I'm not a hacker, but in case you think there might be anything wrong there, obviously, or if you want to test a different version of Wine, you can follow this guide. It will tell you how to compile it with the necessary patches, and you can test like more up-to-date versions of Wine, older versions of Wine, see which one works best for you. I think starting from Wine 6.14, they all work with Roblox, but again, you can test and see. I'll explain how to use a custom version of Wine later on in the video, but for now, yeah, using a pre-built version of Wine security threat. So just to let you know that, that's what people advise. Always build your own to be safe. Why did I close that? I need to download. Okay, I'm going to download my wrapper now. Oh, thank you, Google. So again, I'll have a link to the releases page. You just go there and get the latest version of my wrapper, and I'll show you what to do from there. So actually, is there anything else? So Roblox Studio seems to be working okay. I haven't built anything or done anything on Roblox Studio, but it looks okay. I mean, there was an issue with the windows flickering, but it seems to be okay now. I've set the default API to Vulkan, so I mean, if you can't run it, then you can't run it. You can make sure you got the latest Vulkan drivers installed. There's tutorials online, like making sure you got the latest Mesa drivers. I think they call it Mesa. Also, there was like a 10 to 15 second delay when joining a game. This new version gets rid of that. So when you go to the version you're going to download, in the assets you want to get whatever has the extension tar.xz. This is the file you need that's got the code in it. So I will save it to my desktop for this. Yeah, my voice isn't going to make it to the end of this video. Okay, so here it is. We'll extract it here. Once you've got that extracted, go into the folder. The README will briefly explain what to do, but if you're watching this video will explain what to do. So it should be executable. If it's not, go into permissions and allow executing of this file. If you need to do it via command line, the README explains how to do that. Once it's executable, just open up a terminal window and just drag and drop it in there. If your terminal supports that, if it doesn't, you'll have to open a terminal in the same location, which for me is the desktop, and then just navigate to the same folder and just do this, followed by the name of the file you want to run. So don't want to run that file, but you would actually type just to save me typing it. Let's just use it like that. Okay, so yeah, let's get this run. So straight away there's a new option. Since my last video, there's an option now to uninstall Roblox. So for everyone upgrading or even just using this, I always highly recommend to uninstall Roblox first. So let's get that uninstalled. So once that's finished, it should only take a few seconds. You can press up on your keyboard to run the last command, which was the wrapper, and then you can press 1 to install Roblox. It will confirm that it's detected your operating system. So since my last video, I mentioned that you have to pick your operating system. Now my script thinks it's really clever, and it will just say, I know what your operating system is. This is the operating system I'm targeting. So hopefully it should always be correct. If basically I've checked the package manager, and based on that, it detects if you're running Fedora, Arch, OpenSUSE, and I've added support for OpenSUSE, or Debian. And like I said, this is just a little confirmation. So it tells you to close your browser windows. I don't think you actually need to. I should have removed that, but whatever, it's there now. So I don't think you need to close your browser windows. I'll run the setup now. I've uninstalled, so I'm going to run it clean, and we'll see if it does work with the browser window open. Because I don't think that file that I thought got locked actually gets locked. So now it's just downloading Wine. It's awaiting a response apparently. So there will be certain applications that it might have to install or dependencies to make sure that everything runs. These are the only commands that should actually require you to input your password, because it has to download applications. So as long as you've got all those applications, it won't have to download anything, and it won't ask for your password. Once you've downloaded them, you know, every time you run this, it won't always ask for your password. I'm not quite sure what's going on right here. It's taking ages to download. Maybe it's peak time, I don't know. It's only 1 p.m. here. Should I wait for it? Should I start it again? No, oh, there it goes. Okay, it's downloading. So once that's downloaded and saved, should move on to the next step. I think that's installing Roblox itself into that Wine, into the Wine prefix that I've set for this wrapper. Seriously, everything's running terrible today. It's normally a lot quicker. Okay, so it's installing Roblox now. Now, to do the API settings, Roblox has to be installed. So I've set like a breakpoint here where the terminal window will ask you to press return key once Roblox is actually set up and installed. So this graphical installation, let this complete first before you press enter, otherwise you'll kind of break the setup and you'll have to run it all over again. So don't do that. So even this is taking much longer than it normally does. Not sure why. Maybe because I've got that browser window open. I don't know. But I want to prove a point, so I guess I'll leave that open. Takes a little bit longer, There you go. So this is installing. Let's leave that installing. But in the background here, it does tell you complete Roblox installer, then press return key to continue. So make sure this finishes first. Otherwise, the next part of this script will break. So now that's finished, you can do the API patch. So you press return. It gives you an option to install Fps Unlocker. You don't really need it. I mean, most monitors don't go above 60 frames hertz, so you won't be able to view more than 60 frames per second, but let's just install it so I can show you how it works. Now it asks you what graphical API you want. I recommend Vulkan. I've even put it there in the options. It's recommended that you go with Vulkan. OpenGL might be faster on some systems, but I've heard it's a bit dodgy, but I'll go with Vulkan. So now that's completed, it's finished. So let's test if Roblox works on this window that I didn't close. Roblox. Already logged in. Do the same test game I always run. Let's just see if that starts up. Okay. Beautiful, it's starting Roblox. Always a good sign. And this little window here is loading the FPS Unlocker. So I don't know if FPS Locker will actually be... Where's my character? My character seems to be missing. Oh dear. What is going on here? My character's gone missing. Something's gone wrong. Let's just leave that game and try that again. Actually, yeah, FPS Locker is already running. So that should be running in the background. And I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, game messed up for a second there. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just put my phone on silent. So yeah, yeah, that doesn't look like my avatar. Okay, something is dodgy. I swear stuff like this was happening before Roblox went down for a few days, or was it one day? So yeah, my avatar wasn't loading up properly and stuff. So maybe Roblox is going to crash again. I had to kill him to get him to load back properly last time, but it's not happening right now. This is just terrible. While I'm recording, come on, you're embarrassing me. Okay, let's just exit FPS Unlocker and shut this down. Maybe what? What are you wearing? That's not my costume. What is this? Oh my god. Okay, that almost looks like my costume. The cap should be black. Okay, let's just exit. Something's gone wrong. Maybe FPS locker caused unlocker caused issues. I don't know. Maybe it's my resolution. It's very odd. So here we go. Okay, there's definitely issues with Roblox at the moment. It might have something to do with like yeah, the downtime they had. They were doing some kind of update. Never experienced this previous to all that messing about where they left up. But anyway, here it is. It's running. It's working. Like I said, this should not be an issue for you. What is happening to my avatar? Uh, so yeah, it's definitely not because of the API or anything. I've run this for hours to look for these frame dips. So if you press Shift and F5, you can check your frames per second. I've got a constant 60 there. So if I right click on this red box down here and go to FPS cap, I can cap it, to the maximum of 360. And you can see my FPS just jump there to 200 and well, about 200. Like I said, I normally see it go up to 250. Let's look at the floor. No, it doesn't seem to be hitting the 250 it normally does. Okay, well, still, it's gone way above the 60 FPS. You don't have to worry about FPS Unlocker if you want to use that. It makes the game smoother, really, apparently. But you can't get banned or anything for this, so don't be worried about that. If you want to try it, that's how you do it. And yeah, that's all working there. So let's just exit that. I don't think there's anything else we need to see there. Let's close that. So what we're going to do now is test Roblox Studio. Install Roblox Studio. So this will actually install to a different prefix. So I always set the API to this to Vulkan. There is an option for OpenGL, but like I said, the Studio will be unusable in OpenGL because all the actual windows you need to access, they're all over the place. They just flicker everywhere. They're just crazy. Whereas Vulkan, they're stable because of some child window patch which someone applied to Wine. I believe the E6666 66s, that guy, he does the patch for the child window and also the patch for the to stop the mouse from actually locking up. So again, if you want to compile your own version of Wine, you can test other more up-to-date versions. I will show you that in a minute. You would need to modify my installer script, and you need to save Wine to a specific location. So yeah, when installing Roblox Studio, where's that terminal window gone? It's hiding. Let it open like this and just close it. Because if you put in your username and password, it will just take you to a website or web browser page where you have to log in. So going back to my terminal window, again it will say complete Roblox Studio installer. When complete, let Studio open and then close it and press return key to continue. So I've already opened it and closed it. I'll press return key to continue. It applies the patch and it opens the website you need to go to actually log into Studio. So you just click on Open Studio because I was already logged into the web page. It will do this XGD open. Just click on that. And that should take you to a logged in version of Roblox Studio. Wow, I wish I had a glass of water. Okay, almost finished here. So logging in. There you are, you're in. You can see your projects. Here's a project I started but never finished. I wouldn't even say I started it. I just wanted to import a custom model. So once this loads, these windows are all accessible. You can click on everything. Everything seems fine. Tell the truth, the performance is okay in this. It's not running too bad on this little preview mode. And I can actually start a game as well. So walk about in your game and test it out like you normally would. Everything seems fine, but I haven't excessively tested this. I haven't tested it out much. Like, I haven't done anything on it, to tell the truth. It just looks like it's not broken. That's all I can really say. But yeah, everything, it's not crashing or anything. There's no distortion or anything. Everything seems fine. I don't know. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's just close out of that. So there you go. You got Roblox Studio. You got Roblox Player. Now I'm going to quickly show you what you need to do to get a custom version of Wine. So go to your home folder. If you cannot see the folder, .wine Roblox Malik. This is after you've obviously run my installer script. So you don't actually have to start Roblox if you're worried about my version of Wine being dodgy or something. So once you've got this installed, if you can't view this folder, press Ctrl and H to unhide hidden files. So Ctrl and H here will let you see this folder. You go in there. Here's an extracted version of Wine. What you want to do is save your Wine in this folder. Let's say it's this. Extract it here in this folder. So you've got a folder here in Wine Roblox Malik or .wine Roblox Malik, and then when you open that folder, there should be a bin file, a folder. In that bin folder should be Wine. As long as you've got it set up just like that, what you want to do is rename this, press Ctrl and A, make sure you highlight it all, copy it. Now what you need to do is go into my script, the one you're going to run. So from my desktop is here, and you open with some kind of text editor. You go to this these hashtags that say setup or main setup. Here you go, setup. So along here there will be a part where it tries to set up Wine. Now all you should need to do is change the name of Wine. So here you want to put in the exact folder name. Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure that will work. If you change that, if you're using the older 2.27, 2.28 or 2.29, you can type this into your LDD version to check what version of glibc you're using. If you're using an older 2.27, 2.28 or 2.29, then you'll have to change this older one. But I wouldn't recommend that because the older one is very hard to actually get working unless you're using that script from that website, from the Cron4EK website. So if you change a name, I'm gonna have to run through my setup quickly to make sure, because I didn't think about this. It just came to my head before I made the video. So setup Wine custom Wine, where are you? Extract custom Wine if missing. Here we go. Wine Roblox Malik. Yeah, no, perfect. So the first thing it checks on this if statement is if the directory for the Wine name is there. So if that's not there, it will start downloading it and extracting it. But if it is there, it will totally skip this whole bit where it sets up Wine. So yeah, all you have to do if you want to use a custom version of Wine is to change the Wine name. But you have to have that directory extracted to the Roblox, Wine Roblox Malik folder, and the folder name should be right here. You should paste in the folder name right where Wine name is, in between these I don't know what they're called right now, double quotes. So make sure it's in between the double quotes, the exact folder name that you've extracted into that folder, and it will use that version of Wine. Once you've done that, save this document and run the setup again, and it will fix everything to use the version of Wine that you've compiled yourself, the nice, safe version of Wine that you've compiled yourself. So hopefully you should have no problems with that. Speaking of problems, if you have any issues, you can join my Discord server. I'll have a link in the description. Where I can give you some one-to-one support here. The other users here also have some knowledge that can help you out. But I mean, yeah. If you have any issues, just come here and we'll help you the best we can. But hopefully everything will run perfect. You got this video tutorial talking through the whole process. You shouldn't have any issues, hopefully. But if you do, contact me and I'll do my best to give you a hand, get that up and running. But thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.